Okay, hopefully I got myself framed in here. I'm going to attempt to show you how to make keto mousse. Are you ready? We'll see how well I can do this. I got to try and hold the camera at the same time I put this together and pause it in between. We'll see how it goes. So, first thing we're going to need is ingredients. We're going to need erythritol. This stuff here I get at Walmart, that pure stuff. It's actually a blend of stevia and erythritol. Salt, cocoa, vanilla powder, and this is an optional ingredient, almond extract. I've recently discovered this because it makes it taste just like I remember tasting Snellgrove's burnt almond fudge ice cream. It's really good in there, but that one's optional. Cream cheese. It's very important that your cream cheese be room temperature. Let it thaw. It's best if you don't try and hurry it in the microwave or something, because that can make it go a little bit lumpy. But best if you can just let it go room temperature. The other thing we're going to need is heavy whipping cream, a whole quart of it. You can see that there. And then I keep that cold right till the last minute. All right, so what we're going to do, first thing, equipment. I'm going to use my bullet, and I'm going to use this milling blade on the bullet. This is kind of an optional activity too. I haven't really tried it without doing this, but I think it will work, but I think it also helps to make it more smooth if I do that step. I'll show you. And then the stand mixer with the beater on there, you'll see how that goes. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take erythritol. This is a half cup of erythritol. Half cup of erythritol, a quarter cup of this stevia blend. That one there. Put that in there. And then I'm going to do, oh shoot, I didn't measure it. Hold on, I'm going to pause. Okay, there we go. There's my precise measurement, about half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add that in there. Okay, and then I'm going to cap this. Pause it again. Okay, I got the lid on there. And then, so it's got a milling blade on there. And then I'm just going to mill this up. Now, as you can see, what that has done is that has turned that stuff into the consistency of like confectioner's sugar, like powdered sugar. So that seems to work really good there. All right, so I'm going to have to put the camera down again, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the cream cheese and that mixture, the powder mixture, to the mixer. Okay, so I put the cream cheese in there, used my spatula. I'm going to add this powder. And then over here, this is a third of a cup of Hershey's cocoa. There we go. We'll get that going. Then I'm going to add the powdered vanilla and see if I can get this. I'm going to pause again. Okay, there. So that's probably it's a heaping tablespoonful. It's probably about a tablespoon and a half of the vanilla powder. Now you can use liquid vanilla, I'm sure. I never have, but I really like the taste of this powdered vanilla. But it's expensive. In fact, I just bought this little bag the other day because I was running out. This little bag, what is it? 8 ounces cost me almost 15 bucks. In fact, I think it was more like 16 after tax and shipping. Before I got from herbalcom.com, I'd gotten like a whole pound of the stuff for probably less than that, but they were out of it. So I don't know if they're going to sell it anymore or what, but I love this stuff. If not, just go ahead and use some regular vanilla. Okay. And then this almond extract, I'm going to use about a tablespoon of that. I'm not even sure I have that much left in there, but we'll see. I don't know. Is that not even, it's not even focusing. Anyway, almond extract. Okay, there's my almond extract. Looks like I was actually just shy of a tablespoon. This is only the second time I've ever used it, so I'm not even quite sure what the right amount would be. My guess is it could use maybe even a little more than a tablespoon. But again, that one's optional. You've never tasted it with that before, but I really like it. Okay, so I'm going to close the mixer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this going kind of slow at first. I got a little bit of water here in this thing. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Just to get it going. That might be actually more than I normally would have put in there. But the idea here is this is going to be much like a cream cheese frosting when it's done. Let's see if there's any more in there. I got a drop or two out of it. So yeah, this is a little more runny. I put a little more water in there than I usually do, but I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to get this going. Now I will tell you this, you're going to want to stop and scrape the sides a lot during this process. And the next step too, because this stuff gets so thick it wants to stick to the sides of the bowl really bad. So I'm going to pause again and do that scraping. Okay, so that was interesting. Actually, that was much easier to scrape the sides that time because I had used more water. I couldn't see how much water I was adding when I was filming. So that might actually be a new version of the recipe, to add a little more water to make the scraping easier. If it works. Okay, so I paused it while I did one more scrape and then some more mixing. Now I'm noticing that there's a little bit of graininess to this. You can kind of see it there in the video. Those little like white things, that's little bits of white cream cheese. It's not quite blended up. And I blended it a lot. I didn't want to over blend it, but I blended it a lot trying to get rid of those, and it didn't get rid of them. So I'm thinking I used too much water, and before I don't use as much water, it tends to mix that in better for some reason. Maybe because it's just thicker and it grates on the cream cheese more. So anyway, if this turns out a little more grainy than usual, or not as smooth as usual, then that's going to be the reason why. So just FYI, usually I just put barely enough water to make everything blend. That's about all I do. And so you get the idea. All right, so the next step is going to be to add the whipping cream. Okay, I got the whipping cream ready to go. Turn this on low again. I'm just going to pour this in. So what I'll do is I'll mix this kind of slow like this, scrape the sides a few times for the same reason as before. That thick mixture, when it's really thick, tends to really want to stick to the sides. So you got to go through this probably 2 or 3 times to get it unstuck from the sides. So I'm going to pause this and give it a scrape. And just so you can see, this is the kind of thing I do when I'm scraping. I'm trying to get that thick stuff off the sides. So I'll go all the way around. But to do this effectively, I got to pause the video.